gonna show them where it's at.
For over 500 years, I have searched for the fountain of youth. As it turns out, many NFL players have already found it.
It's the receiver. 9. What do we got? 39.
Getting 7 points here.
All 6 of you worked your tail off.
5 seconds left. 4, you dreaming? 3, number 3.
Evidently 2 rushes 2 weeks.
To make this top 10 list, we asked a timeless question.
What does it take to be an NFL Ageless Wonder?
Well, this is a tough one, actually.
Ageless wonders, ageless wonders.
Well, top 10 ageless wonders, I think it would have something to do with longevity.
I would say anybody who lasts past 35 is kind of an ageless wonder.
Shoot, that puts us in that category.
I think you have to be at least 38 to even be on that list.
But age alone simply won't cut it.
You have to be successful and age gracefully. You can't just hang on for dear life to be cutting a check every 1st and 15th of the month.
Hey, we can't play this game forever.
But there are some things that can help extend an NFL career.
To be an ageless wonder, you have to get enough sleep. Overeating and eating the wrong things cause you to age.
What's up, old man? How old are you now?
The key to aging gracefully is to not have too many enemies throwing arrows at you, believe me.
You really want to last a long time in NFL? Ride the bench for about 5 or 6 years before they find out you can play. That'll help you.
Deer antler spray, maybe?
Ready? When it comes to being an Ageless Wonder, let's face it, some guys just have it.
The old man still got it. I told you.
We begin with a fellow Floridian. The number 10 Ageless Wonder of all time, Senor Rondé Barber.
Rondé? Rondé Barber? RB, as I call him? When we go to Mr. Child's.
You know, Rondé Barber's on the list, deservedly so. The oldest defensive back in the NFL in 2012.
The ball batted in the air. It's intercepted. Picked off by Rodney Barber.
Rondy plays defense. Not many defensive players play 15, 16 years in the National Football League.
You too old. You can't play this game no more. You too old.
He has 47 interceptions in 16 years.
It's picked off. Intercepted. Rodney Barber could take it all the way.
More than half of those interceptions have come after his 30th birthday.
Rondé Barber, the ageless one, 45th career interception, his 15th career touchdown.
He's awesome. I don't know how he's doing it. I want to find a pound of youth.
I think he has been playing way too long in La Florida. I am very suspicious of him. He may, in fact, have found the very place I was looking for.
I saw Rondé Barber at a Derrick Brooks golf tournament. He looked as young then as he did 10 years ago, so I believe that Rondé Barber did find the fountain of youth.
Rondé's twin brother Tiki played running back for the New York Giants, but retired after 10 seasons.
Twin brothers sort of have that competitive spirit, and Rondé Barber's been competing all his life.
My brother is a perfectionist, and when he puts his mind to something, he's going to be successful at it. And so when he got through year 10, 11, and 12, and people started saying it's time to hang it up, he took that as a challenge.
How about the old gray-beard himself, Rondé Barber?
He's reinvented himself over and over and over again, including playing safety last year at a pretty high level.
And this guy has been a cornerback in the league for the previous 15 seasons. The 16th season, he moves to safety. It's a great example of his longevity.
Be willing to switch positions. Not every player is willing to do it. Some will just retire and say the heck with it, but I give Rondé Barber credit. He's an ageless wonder to me.
Oh, you still a hell of a player, bro. Appreciate it, bro. Gotta give it to you. I don't know how you did it for so long. That's mad, bro. Thanks, bro.
Probably about 4 years ago, I asked him, just, how in the hell are you still doing this? And he said, I'm playing from the neck up.
You can't overlook his experience in this game. It's almost like he's in the offensive huddle.
He just got smarter than everybody else. It helps that, you know, when you've been around for 16 years, you're going to know some things that other guys don't know.
He just got better every year, and in terms of preparation, you can't beat him.
I mean, when you look at the level he was able to play for such a period of time, it's impressive.
In 2012, the Buccaneers hosted a 10-year reunion for their Super Bowl championship team. Rondé's role in the celebration was limited due to the fact that he was still playing.
It's the same Rondé, 10 years later.
He's the only remaining player link to that Super Bowl team. Everybody else is come and gone.
Oh, still playing, boy. When you gonna retire, man?
That answer finally came in 2013 when Rondé decided to hang him up.
It's taken a lot for me to get to 16. I had fun. I love coming to work every day.
He promised me if he retired that we would go to Venice and ride the gondola.
The guy has played 215 consecutive starts. No DB in history has ever done that.
That's the benefit of you, baby.
The fact that he has played two positions at a high level and what he's done with the interceptions and the way he's played the position for so long. Rondé Barber is the ageless wonder.
Coming up, we'll start sweating to the oldies and get more ageless advice from Richard.
I don't eat anything that flies or swims or walks on the earth.
Welcome back to the NFL Network's Top 10 Ageless Wonders.
Number 9.
The number 9 ageless wonder of all time, Senor Steve DeBerg.
Can you name all 7 of the teams Steve DeBerg played for?
Oh my God, 7 teams. Let's see, San Francisco, Denver, San Diego? No, Indianapolis, Tampa Bay.
I remember him always in New England.
He played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Back to Tampa, right? I think. Cleveland, Detroit. Can I just name the rest of the city in the NFL?
Seattle Seahawks.
And there was somebody else.
Miami Dolphins.
And then he came back. What did he come back with?
And I know he finished with the Falcons.
Oh, I should have remembered the Falcons.
Hey, one of the last guys that played when I played. You talking about old. I'm talking about real old.
Steve DeBerg was known for 2 things. He was known for playing for a really long time, and he had the greatest play-action fake maybe in NFL history.
There's the handoff, check it, play fake. DeBerg rolls back to his left, throwing deep, man down there, touchdown!
He was the first guy to stick it out with one hand and pull it back in and mastered it.
But that wasn't the only thing he mastered over his 18-year career.
For a long time, wherever Steve DeBerg was, a franchise quarterback was going to follow him.
The old saying, life is timing and yours sucks. If they ever wrote a book with that title, it'd have to have a picture of Steve on it.
If you want to go to the Hall of Fame, be Steve DeBerg's backup. He's a starter in San Francisco. Joe Montana's his backup. Joe Montana comes in and goes to the Hall of Fame. 1983, Steve DeBerg, he's the starter in Denver. John Elway's his backup. John Elway goes on to the Hall of Fame. A couple years later, 1985, he's a starter in Tampa. Steve Young's his backup. Steve Young goes on to be a Hall of Famer.
A 10th round draft pick of the Cowboys in 1977, DeBerg never played for Dallas, but learned a lot from starter Roger Staubach.
Roger took me under his wing and started explaining things. And really, that had such an influence on me that because of what Roger Staubach did for me, that I would always do that for other quarterbacks.
He mentored, John and worked with him. He didn't care. He just wanted to win football games.
I hate to say it, he didn't matter. I mean, Steve DeBerg, come on, really?
This guy, scratched out a 20-year career. You don't just do that being a guy.
That may be the invitation to the playoffs for the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's a guy who brings something to the table.
He's a survivor. You get that many jobs, you're doing something right.
You can put him in the ageless wonder discussion because he came out of retirement at age 44.
After 5 years off between snaps, DeBerg made a comeback in 1998.
5 years into retirement, I thought he was finished.
We just needed that veteran backup quarterback. You never know when you need, somebody with experience to come in and help you.
He was on the 98 Falcon team that went to the Super Bowl.
Play action, setting up, DeBerg going long, Tony Marcus there, touchdown Falcon! What are you doing, Steve DeBerg? You ain't too old for this game!
Following Super Bowl 33, DeBerg finally retired for good, at least we think.
Would you be that surprised if in week 4 of this season,
somebody got hurt and trotting in there with Steve DeBerg? Or would you just say, he made a roster again?
Number 8.
The number 8 ageless wonder of all time, Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez, 16 years in the NFL.
Why are you over here looking at the old guy? Go look at one of the young guys.
Are guys that age supposed to be playing that well at that position, well into their 30s? It's not supposed to happen.
This will be a touchdown to Tony.
6-1 for Gonzalez. Touchdown!
You expect tight ends, because of the physical nature of the position, to fall off, but Tony Gonzalez has done the opposite.
He need to go ahead and retire. I'm tired of him making plays.
I'm so happy he's still playing because he's as good as all the other tight ends.
Gonzalez, touchdown! Oh, my goodness.
He's the kind of tight end that we're all still looking for. Find another Tony Gonzalez.
But it's crazy to me because I think he had his best season in 2012. He looks like he's 25 years old out there.
Matt's going to throw. Gonzalez, the catch!
That guy's unbelievable. He's aging in reverse.
Not surprisingly, football's version of Benjamin Button was also a hero of the hardcourt in college.
Tony Gonzalez revolutionized basketball-type tight end.
Gonzalez, what a catch!
He knows how to position himself to make a catch and shield the ball from the defender.
I always looked at it like basketball. I mean, I'm trying to boxing people out, and that's just like being in the post.
He does all the fundamental things correct, so there's that consistency to him, that dependability, and that's how guys stick in the league so long.
In 2009, Gonzalez was traded to Atlanta in what was thought to be the twilight of his career.
When the Kansas City Chiefs traded Tony Gonzalez, the idea was, he's got 1 or 2 years left. 5 years later, he's still the best tight end in the league.
Touchdown, Tony Gonzalez!
The reason why Tony Gonzalez is a great player and an ageless wonder is very simple. The guy takes care of himself.
He exercises every day. His off-season regimen is very well known. Focuses a lot on flexibility, on core strength. He's a vegan.
I was a vegetarian for 11 years. A strict one back in the 70s, and back then it was harder. And then one day I woke up and I said, Larry's prime rib!
Nutritionally is the reason I've been able to play this long. I really believe it. I'm Tony G, and today it's time to open the shopping bag.
He is always talking about his health food that he eats. We should all be eating that health food.
Healthy snacks eaten in moderation are actually good for you. 6 years ago now is when I changed my diet dramatically. Went from eating processed foods, cheeseburgers, french fries, you name it, I ate it. But once I changed my diet, my energy levels went through the roof.
Dunks it over the crossbar.
It's made me the player who I am, I think.
Vegetarian, specifically, is very nice. He's wonderful. But you put him on board the ship. After 3 months and provisions run out, he will be eating boiled rat and leather just like the rest of us.
Coming up on Ageless Wonders.
Oh, I gotta do that over. That was horrible. Don't show that. Do not show that.
Kicking specialists are like a sheep surgeon or a carpenter. They don't really matter until you really need them.
Don't need no field goal. Touchdown.
Let us take a look at some specialists who, like a fine wine, got better with time.
Punter Jeff Fiegel's hang time in the NFL spanned a 22-year career with 5 different teams.
No, I'm not. I'm getting there, though.
Fiegel's one-time teammate, Trey Junkin, spent most of his 19 seasons looking upside down as a long snapper.
I've been doing this forever. This is my 17th year.
But Junkin is best remembered for coming out of retirement to play in one costly playoff game for the New York Giants in 2002.
Comes with a bad snap, and now they're going to have to try to throw for it. He throws it, and it's incomplete.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to do this.
For 21 years, Lou Groza towed the line for the Cleveland Browns as an offensive tackle, but mostly as a place kicker.
Groza will attempt a field goal. It'll be 15 yards. He puts the ball. It's up in the air. It's gone.
But those kicking specialists didn't quite have the staying power of our next ageless wonder.
7. And the number 7, ageless wonder of all time, Senor Morten Andersen.
Morten Andersen is one of the best young kickers in the NFL.
Morten Andersen, he's football immortality as kickers go.
Andersen has it airborne, and it is perfect.
Morten Andersen's numbers just are mind-boggling.
Morton Anderson scored 704 points after his 40th birthday. That's more points than John Riggins scored in his entire career. It's also more points than Barry Sanders, Curtis Martin, Tony Gonzalez, Eric Dickerson, Steve Largent, Jerome Bettis, Tony Dorsett, and about a dozen other Hall of Famers had in their entire careers.
I added up how many years I spent in training camp, and I came up with about, 2 years of that. Training camp, 2 years of your life.
But the Saints' rookie kicker's career didn't exactly get off on the right foot.
The very first opening kickoff, I snapped my right ankle, and I was done. And the strike came, and it kind of gave me a chance to rehab and get back. So when the strike was over, I was back playing. But it was an auspicious start to my career for sure.
It's high, it is good.
Saints fans remember him well because he was their offense for a long time.
It's a low one, but it's long enough. Did it get through? Yes! 60-yard field goal for Morton Anderson.
Anderson had stints with the Vikings, Giants, and Chiefs, but he spent the majority of his career south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Despite his youth, Anderson now holds the Saints' records for most field goals in a career, 71.
He's the all-time leading scorer for the Saints and for the Falcons, two franchises.
Kick is up. It's high. It is good. Saints have won it. It's perfect.
He started from 0 in each one and was still able to surpass everybody in their franchise. And he goes to show how long the longevity that guy's had.
His longevity came from flexibility. If you ever watch the people stretch, you know how long they're going to last.
You must have a good gluteus maximus, a very strong quad, a lovely hamstring, and a calf.
Nicknamed the Great Dane, Anderson made 565 career field goals, but his biggest came in the 1998 NFC Championship game.
I remember standing on stage with Terry Bradshaw saying in Danish, "We'll see you in Miami."
Vi ses i Miami! Vi er NFC Master!
The thing about old kickers, the reason they stick around so long is because that position lends itself to familiarity.
That was never more the case than in 2007, when Jim Mora Jr. got some fatherly advice on solving Atlanta's kicking inconsistencies.
If there was one guy in the world that was pushing Morton Anderson for the Atlanta Falcons, it was my dad. You need to sign Morton.
The Falcons did just that, and the rest is history.
A chance to become the NFL's all-time career scorer for 24-year veteran Morton Anderson. Snap, spot, kick, and he's done it. Morton Anderson has just become the NFL's all-time career scoring leader.
With 2,437 career points, Anderson finally retired at the age of 48.
I think he wanted to be the first guy to get to 50, right?
He had this goal. He wanted to reach the age of 50.
You're the best that ever was. Thank you.
Did he get there? He didn't get there. Probably could still nail it for 40 in.
Number 6.
The number 6 ageless wonder of all time, Senor Warren Moon.
Do you consider yourself an ageless wonder?
I do.
Another perfect pass by Warren Moon. That guy's not 40 years old.
I think when I was in Seattle, we led the league in passing when I was 41 years old.
It's Galloway, got it! Touchdown, Seattle!
I was the oldest to score a touchdown.
Moon trying to get over the top. He is in. Touchdown, Seahawks, Warren Moon.
I was the MVP of the Pro Bowl when I was 41 years old.
Would you believe it? Actually, when it comes to Warren Moon, I believe almost anything.
So yeah, I think I'm an ageless wonder.
You know, I never thought of Warren Moon as old. And I know he played a long time. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But Warren Moon to me never got old.
Moon first made a name for himself north of the border in the Canadian Football League.
He was in the CFL, otherwise known as the Federal Witness Protection Program of football.
There he led the Edmonton Eskimos to 5 consecutive Grey Cups.
Not that that counts, it's an exchange rate. You win 5 championships in Canada, it's kind of worth maybe a half a championship in the NFL.
People don't realize how old Warren Moon was because he was in the CFL all those years. He was a fossil.
If somebody was smart enough to draft Warren Moon out of freaking college, Warren Moon would own every record there is in the National Football League.
Moon, fade pattern for Jeffrey, touchdown.
In his 23 years as a professional quarterback, our number 6 ageless wonder threw for over 70,000 yards.
Warren Moon's a classic example. If you can be a consistent drop-back quarterback, you'll play a long time.
Moon rolling left, looking to throw back right in the end zone. Touchdown, Gibbons.
Warren Moon to me always was able to move around and be athletic. It was like, wow.
I'll tell you, he's running like a 22-year-old out there right now.
Looking back at it, I wish we never got him hit. We could have protected him better, kept more people in.
With all the punishment that he took to be able to play into his 40s, we were talking about a physical marvel.
Regardless of his age, he was a weightlifter. He was always working out.
I really trained very, very well, and every year I tried to improve on something within my game to make me better, whether it was to increase my flexibility or make my legs stronger or work on my upper body. I always had some type of goal.
I was always impressed how well he kept himself in shape. I didn't think of him as an old guy. I thought him as our quarterback who was going to lead us to victory.
In 2000, Moon finished the final phase of his career as a backup in Kansas City.
I'm here today to announce my retirement from the National Football League.
But a new Moon soon rose, this time on the celebrity beach football circuit.
I love going out there and throwing the ball around, even though I can't do it on a professional level anymore.
Moon buscando a quién pasar, le pone presión en el argentino, la dramática, el pase corto. Touchdown!
These games are fun, getting a chance to meet a lot of these celebrities and throw them passes. I'm 56 now, and I'm still out there chucking it.
Coming up, which player gave out a licking but kept on ticking?
He's almost here. He's not?
Being an ageless wonder doesn't require musical acumen, like Richard Simmons, a little hard work.
You ready to sweat?
A lot of personality.
Till your underwear is wet?
And a love for your profession can be the recipe for agelessness, something the guys so far on our list clearly figured out.
Number 10, Rondé Barber. He was born first and played the longest.
People started saying it's time to hang it up. He took that as a challenge.
Number 9, Steve DeBerg made a comeback at 44 years young.
What are you doing, Steve DeBerg? You're too old for this game!
Number 8, the Falcons' Benjamin Button.
That guy's unbelievable. He's a freak of nature. He's aging in reverse.
Number 7, the lifespan of a Great Dane is 8 years. Morton Anderson lasted 23.
And it is perfect.
Number 6, Warren Moon's career spanned 285 lunar cycles.
I was the oldest to score a touchdown. So yeah, I think I'm an ageless wonder.
And now,
Number 5.
the number 5 ageless wonder, Senor Ray Lewis.
He's old as hell. Come on. For a football player, he's old. There's two people who generally wear out first. There's those who get tackled and those who do the tackling. There's punishment. It's punishment. Always tackling people.
You can't hurt this! I'm a machine, jerk!
I mean, one thing you're talking about a kicker or a quarterback, but you're hitting every single play.
Ray Lewis, the ageless wonder.
That's a grind right there. I mean, what did Buckus and those guys play? 8 years, 9 years, and this guy's 17? Come on.
I look at Ray Lewis and I think of Cal Ripken, who did it at shortstop. Ray Lewis, same thing, middle linebacker. I mean, these guys did it, and they did it at the position that's probably hardest to do it at.
He played at a consistent level. Same guy, year in, year out. 2000, they win the Super Bowl.
The Ravens are the champions of the world.
Win it again, 2012.
Oh my God!
The same player.
You still play like when I worked for your Super Bowl in 2001. So keep it going.
Absolutely.
At the peak of your career, you were 100%. What are you right now?
Probably 105.
Ray Lewis averaged 109 tackles over his final 7 years. He retired as the only player in NFL history with 40 sacks and 30 interceptions.
His commitment to training was just unbelievable.
Being a champion is not easy. It's hard work.
He was training at this remote location. I said, how come you don't have more of your teammates here? And he said, they come once. And there's just no way you're going to hang with Ray.
We got work to do. Yes, sir. We got work to do.
Genetically speaking, there has to be something there, like some Wolverine type stuff. Like you're either able to heal or you don't heal.
They got to drag me off of here, cuz I'm good.
At 37 years old, our number 5 ageless wonder led the NFL in postseason tackles in 2012. But the rigors of 17 years in the middle was tough to hide during Super Bowl 47.
He was pretty bandaged up. He had the shoulder brace. He had all kind of stuff going on here, right? He was more like RoboCop than he was true Ray Lewis.
Let's play hard-nosed football, and let's beat these boys' brains in. Let's go.
When you're playing with one arm and it looks like you're part Terminator, I don't care if you have one tackle, no quarterback pressures. You're out there gutting it out, and you're giving them something.
The career of Ray Lewis ends with a defensive stand for the ages.
That is one gentleman I give credit for finding the fountain of youth.
Hey, make your career last as long as mine.
He will be forever young with that ring on his finger.
Number 4.
The number 4 ageless wonder of all time.
Quattro.
George Blanda.
To be an ageless wonder, you got to look like an ageless wonder, right? I mean, Ray Lewis doesn't look old. Jerry Rice, who else you got to know? Nobody. There's only one guy, one true guy who was the ageless wonder, George Blanda.
If we had an NFL dictionary and there was the term ageless wonders, the picture would be of George Blanda.
He was right out of Central Casting. He had those sideburns as wide as the state of New Jersey. They had the gray hair coming out. He looked like an old pirate.
Right on the money.
I am currently 539 years old, okay? I know Senor George is only 2 years older than me.
George Blanda's kicking, he's throwing touchdowns. The guy was like 60, and he's doing all this. I can't even chase my kids around right now at the age of 42.
George Blanda played 17 seasons between the NFL and AFL before earning a contract with the Raiders at the age of 40.
George Blanda really had 3 careers. First with the Chicago Bears, and then with the Houston Oilers, and then with the Oakland Raiders. And each time he started a new career, the team that he was leaving thought he was done.
You gotta be nuts, which the Raiders somehow a little bit nuts, to hang your hat on like a 40-something-year-old guy. But George Blanda wouldn't go away.
LaMonica's knee was injured late in the game and he could not play the following week. His replacement was a 41-year-old veteran quarterback who played sparingly and is used as a kicking specialist.
At the end of his career, he became this kicker and backup quarterback with the Oakland Raiders. And then came the 1970 season when he becomes not just a player, but the most valuable player.
George Blanda is 43 at the time. He looked 73.
The odds against this must be about 76 million to a half.
1970, I'm at Bowling Green watching the Raiders, and this George Blanda every week would come in and win these games for him in the last second.
It's kicked. That's got a chance. It's good. Holy Toledo!
It was like game after game after game. He would either kick it or throw it to win a game.
George Blanda has just been elected king of the world.
He was a motivator for not only the team, but every guy watching the sport over 40. I could be doing that. You're sitting on your couch eating your potato chips.
It was almost like Tebow mania, but better. It was like Tebow mania, but this was Tim Tebow's father or grandfather.
I thought I was 21. I mean, I always thought I was 21. If I didn't, I wouldn't have played until I was 48.
Our number 4 ageless wonder played in 4 decades and retired as the all-time scorer and oldest player in NFL history at age 48.
He retired a month shy of his 49th birthday.
It wasn't Pilates that he was doing away from football. He wasn't too much into soy milk either.
His training regimen was probably cigarettes and bad fried food, probably no weightlifting, and he's playing at that high a level at that age. It's unbelievable when you think about that.
So imagine if George Blanda had the Tony Gonzalez diet. We're talking about a guy who's playing into his 70s, right?
Up next,
you sit up in the booth and call these games and you're looking at a guy who's older than you are.
What's purple and yellow and gray all over?
The guy looked like your grandfather out there on the field.
Welcome, oh welcome back, Ageless Wonders, NFL. They're swell.
Ageless wonder, Richard Simmons, has been helping people lose weight for over 30 years. But big can be beautiful in the NFL.
I'm big,
strong, and I'm healthy.
Hall of Famer Jackie Slater played 20 years, the third most in NFL history.
That means when he was in his last year, there were rookies that were 2 years old when Jackie Slater started playing in the NFL, and he was still whooping their behind all over the field.
Center Kevin Mawai manned the middle for 16 seasons and was named to 8 All-Pro teams.
Hey, man, it's the old man's league today. It is.
Bruce Matthews tied the record with 14 consecutive Pro Bowls while playing every position along the offensive line.
I'm going to have to assume that this is an omission on your part. You don't have Bruce Matthews? Are you kidding? This is all you guys do at NFL Films, and you can't get this right? Yet you have kickers on the list. You don't have the Matthews on the list who epitomize everything that's great about the sport of the football, but you have guys that played soccer in high school. Good move, NFL Films. Smooth.
Number 3.
The number 3 Ageless Wonder of all time, Brett Favre.
Some guys are like a good scotch. They just get better with age.
Brett Favre would get just absolutely pounded down on the ground.
Oh, what a devastating shot.
And he'd come back up. I mean, I think there was just a real tenacity and just a love.
300th career start today, right?
That's all? There was young Brett Favre. And he won the Super Bowl, right? And he looked baby-faced, and he was running around, he had his helmet raised. And then, like overnight, like flipping a switch, he was old. It was like he had aged in president years.
And you old, man.
It's kind of like you took all the clothes off the Marlboro Man, and it was, it happened to be Brett Favre.
How old are you? 61. That's amazing. You look great.
Yeah, you look great. You look good.
What happened to me? I'm just old and washed up. Trying to hang on.
Brett Favre hung around for 17 seasons before temporarily hanging it up.
I am officially retiring. I know I can play. I still can play. You can still do it.
Favre joined the Jets and Vikings for 3 seasons and became the only quarterback in NFL history to beat all 32 teams.
I was there at the Meadowlands the day he threw the 6 touchdown passes against the Cardinals.
Brett Favre sets an all-time career high for a single game.
He was rolling there for a while.
18 years in the league, though. That's almost my entire life.
They looked like Super Bowl contenders, and then Favre's arm began to fall off.
And the Jets end the season at 9-7.
Off that Jets season, nobody exactly knew what they were going to get with Brett Favre. And then he went out there and had one of the great seasons for a quarterback in the history of the National Football League.
You could argue that Favre's best season was in 2009 when he was 40 years old with the Vikings.
You got the best of Favre in the regular season without the worst.
Brett Favre, beautiful strike down the field.
He had 33 touchdowns, passes, and 7 interceptions. He's never had that kind of ratio before.
That's a nice 40th birthday for the old man.
When they beat San Francisco with a great pass at the end of the game that he made, you knew that this could be a special year for them.
Looked through the regular season as if this is too good to be true. Well, ultimately it was. He did throw across his body in New Orleans.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
But it was about as storybook as you could get.
I remember the first time I met Brett. It was at the barbershop. And I was on the floor collecting the hair that fell. And it wasn't brown and blonde, it was silver, like a Tiffany or a Cartier.
Jared Allen nicknamed him the Silver Fox.
The Silver Fox!
When he took that helmet off, Jay Leno was blushing. Michael McDonald of the Doobie Brothers was blushing. His hair had become almost completely white.
Before retiring for good, Favre rewrote the record books, including becoming the league's only active grandfather. But is our number 3 ageless wonder really done?
What is he, like 72 now, Brett Favre?
At some point, the ship sails, and I think for Brett Favre, the ship has left the port.
No, I don't think it's ever off the table. It's him and Michael Jordan.
We take 2 weeks off and start getting ready again?
Yeah, probably so.
Number 2. The number 2 ageless wonder of all time, Senor Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, Emmett and I used to ride the mechanical bull together.
When you're talking about ageless wonders, Emmitt Smith certainly belongs number 2, even ahead of Brett Favre.
Tackled but breaks away. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
Nobody wants to have a guy play that position for very long because it's very demanding on their body. And yet Emmitt Smith, year after year, was able to be a very productive player.
I'm one of your biggest fans, and I always have been. Thank you. I mean that.
For as many hits as he took, for the course of his career to be able to do it game in and game out, the durability is amazing.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I remember playing him. He was 32 or 3 at the time, saying he can't do this. You know, he's old. And he goes out and rushes for 120 yards and a touchdown. And it was like every week he had 120 yards and a touchdown.
Thank you for blessing me with the talent to play the sport that I so dearly love for almost 3 decades.
The only pressures that I had was people talking about where he's on the backside of his career, he's selfish, he's chasing after the record. You daggone right I was.
Instead of embracing a life of leisure, Emmitt Smith continued his pursuit of the NFL rushing title into his 30s and eventually got it, retiring with 18,355 yards.
That was one of the goals that I set on my list as a young rookie. Others looked at me and said, you know how long you have to play? Emmitt Smith is going to break every record known to man. Anytime Emmitt Smith put his mind to something, he was going to accomplish it. And he made up his mind in that Seattle game that he was going to break the record. And he did it.
Emmitt Smith has eclipsed Walter Payton as the NFL's all-time rushing leader.
18,000 yards. That is almost twice what most really good running backs do.
Everybody's excited. It's kind of interesting to see Emmitt Smith out there in a Cardinal uniform.
At 34 years old, our number 2 ageless wonder joined the Cardinals and became the oldest player to throw his first touchdown pass.
It wasn't pretty, but you got it there. That's the point.
Despite his name being all over the record books, his inclusion on our list was far from unanimous.
No, he doesn't belong on the list. It's not an ageless wonder if you just play a really long time and you're no good at the end. He was very good when he was a certain age. When he got past that certain age, the wonder was, I wonder why he's still playing.
No complete explanation. He had only 200-yard games with Arizona. Proof of my existence. Right there.
It was clear that Emmitt Smith was not moving the way that you would expect an Emmitt Smith to move.
Emmitt ain't running hard. Just fall down. Why just fall down? You don't want to get hit.
You know those golf carts that they drive around for training camp? Emmitt had his own dedicated cart, and he was driving in it a lot. And that's when you started to think, maybe it's not the best sign that your running back is in his golf cart all the time.
I want to thank the Cardinals. By them working with you to continue playing for 2 years, that just padded that record.
So how did Emmitt earn the second spot on our list? He simply did something that the league may never see again.
The evolution of two backs, the evolution of the passing game, the spread offense. I just don't think we're going to see anybody be the hammer that Emmitt was.
They'll never forget the day Emmitt Smith ran 32 times, did most of it with one arm.
You just can't stay that healthy for that long to be able to break Emmitt Smith's record. It's not going to happen ever again.
He won Dancing with the Stars. Didn't he win?
Yeah, he did win. He did win.
He won Dancing with the Stars.
Man looks good in the vest. Ageless wonder.
Coming up.
He's an ageless wonder. He ought to be number 1.
Whose longevity landed him atop our list?
Number 1, ageless wonders ever. I don't think anybody will ever challenge that.
Excuse me.
Before passing away in 1934, Zorro Aga claimed to be over 150 years old, which would make him the oldest person ever to live.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Before we reveal who claimed our top spot, let's take a look at our list so far.
Number 10.
For Rondé Barber, playing 17 years is all relative.
Leg up. It's good to be a twin. I wish I had one.
Number 9, Steve DeBerg took 5 years off between snaps.
I'm talking about old. I'm talking about real old.
Number 8, Tony G, the NFL star of VeggieTales.
Healthy snacks eaten in moderation are actually good for you.
Number 7, Morton makes his mark.
Morton Anderson had more points after his 40th birthday than about 24 Hall of Famers had in their entire careers.
Number 6, Warren Moon dates to football's Mesozoic era.
People don't realize how old Warren Moon was because he was in the CFL all those years. He was a fossil.
Number 5, the Ravens' founding father.
He's old as hell. For a football player, he's old.
Number 4, the miraculous George Blanda.
George Blanda has just been elected king of the world.
Number 3, the Silver Fox.
The Silver Fox!
Number 2, the NFL's all-time leading rusher.
People talking about he's chasing after the record. You daggone right I was.
Number 1.
And the number 1 ageless wonder of all time, Senor Darrell Green.
This is a young man's game. Father Time is undefeated.
I'm about 100 billion and old.
But with Darrell Green, it has an asterisk by it because he probably took him further than anyone.
I think he's deserving of number 1. You try to understand how this man is old enough to be the daddy to the guy that he's covering, but you can't run away from him.
Only one man on the field could catch him, Darrell Green, the world-class sprinter.
Don't let the ball stop moving you up there.
Darrell Green had a faster time when he was 40, in the 40, than most people in their 20s in the 40.
Too old, buddy. Make you run fast.
Have you ever tried to run with anything in your sock? It's really annoying. For Darrell Green to be the fastest player in the league for like a decade, that's real speed. He would be even faster without the candy in there.
I remember being there in the Redskins at time the players in like a mini camp or something like that, and he was like the fastest Redskin and like the oldest guy on the team.
2-8 can still do it, baby. Mayor DC.
I love Darrell Green. Be able to run a 4.3 when you're 40 years old it doesn't make any sense. I remember watching one of those superstar competitions, just how athletic he was.
Darrell Green is the fastest man in the NFL. Have I lost a step? You tell me.
Darrell Green's speed never left, helping him set an NFL record by picking off a pass in 19 straight seasons.
You line him up, the young Darrell against the veteran Darrell, I think it would have been a photo finish.
It was after his career, but Darrell Green ran a 4.43 on his 50th birthday.
I love that, like, somewhere they're serving cake. It's like a 50-year-old's birthday party, and they're like, all right, Darrell's going to go out in the backyard and run a 40-yard dash real fast.
Da 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 da.
In between the cake and the piñata, and like maybe they're watching Matlock, he's decided to go out and test his 40 time.
How can a guy that's 40 years old run that fast? There's got to be some vitamins you're taking or some special conditioning program, or what do you, like, you eating fish oil or something like that? Huh?
I've never drunk one beer in 40 years, never smoked one cigarette, no marijuana, no drugs.
Boring life.
He was a guy who was just totally committed to clean living.
If you ingest bad chemicals in your body, tobacco, alcohol, it's going to kill cells.
You one of the 70s greatest and you still playing.
I like my ageless wonders to be smoking cartons of cigarettes, drinking till all hours of the night. Frankly, I like my ageless wonders like George Blanda.
No question about it.
As seniors or silver foxes or platinum people, I think if you've been taking care of yourself a long time and eating healthy and exercising, you can do amazing things.
I think there's a lot of people who believe that even when he retired, he could have kept playing.
Are you coming back next year? Oh, come on, man.
He's still very competitive, and deep down inside, feels like he could still play if he had to.
Our list has made it clear that becoming an ageless wonder takes hard work and sometimes a little upkeep.
Do you know how much this afro is worth? Just the afro.
No. Don't we all want to grow old gracefully? Nobody wants to be drooling.
Of course, it doesn't take the wisdom of an ageless wonder to know not everyone will agree with our list.
Brett Favre should be one.
To be mentioned with those people, I'm honored.
Where's Jerry Rice?
I am absolutely shocked.
Calm down. Jerry Rice is on every other top 10 list. I think he'll be fine.
Au revoir, my little creme brulee.
Hope you had fun. All these wonders.